Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Michael Clarke is no stranger to an endorsement. He loves an endorsement. I once saw him do an ad for something, and in that ad, he did an ad for something else.
Really?
I thought that was, I've said, how can you? Even John Laws can't do that.
I remember seeing him on a billboard, with his tats and everything in his undies. This is when he's involved with Lara Bingle. And it's a very impressive ad. He looked fantastic. And it's interesting me watching the David Beckham special or the documentary series. Beckham was the first character to push individually and to be covered in tats, to do the ads for his own brand. Michael Clarke was the first cricketer really to do that. And that he was a line in the sand between the old school captains and the new school captains. And there was some debate, I know, at the time as to whether this was a disrespectful way or not an appropriate way for an ex-captain to be behaving. But he was the first of that new guard.
He's certainly not without controversy. We all remember what happened with Noosa. There's Clarke and Carlos and Billy all hanging together.
All hanging together, and what we now know...
Something went awry between a text between Pip and him. And
what went awry is that his girlfriend at the time discovered that maybe he hadn't been as faithful to her as he said he was. No, not Yasmin. Which one is Jade? Yeah, the sister, Yasmin Stefanovic's sister. And she reacted to this. There was alcohol involved. He had his shirt off, stomping around, swearing at people. It wasn't his finest hour. As
a rule on our show, if we have someone that's controversial that comes on, we say to them, well, we're going to talk about this. And then they'll say to us, well, we're not comfortable and we're not going to do that. And we'll say, well, we're not going to do the interview then because we have to talk to that person.
But you and I don't. You and I are very uncomfortable having to be confrontational.
No, I wouldn't be confrontational. I
can't stand
But if we had, remember Olivia Newton-John a few years ago when her husband went missing.
We never mentioned that.
I said, well, because it just happened. We were having her on the show.
Mentioned that.
I know. I said, but we had to drop the interview. I said, well, we can't have her on and not talk about it.
Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable.
But what sort of radio show is this? We might as well just play Backman Turner Overdrive.
I know, but we don't want to mine people's miseries.
No, it's not mining, but if something happens, you can't not mention it.
But also, we're a different show to a current affair. So there was Michael Clarke last night on a current affair wanting to sell some lemon, lime and bitters to use his fame to sell this product, but not want the infamy that went with it, with his past last year being dragged up.
So he sat down with Simon Boda.
In a strange twist, Clarke's fronting our cameras because he wants to flog, would you believe, a new brand of bitters. But we warned him we had to touch on the elephant in the room, that Noosa fight video where Clarke ends up shirtless, stumbling in a public park.
Talk to me about Noosa. Regrets from Noosa?
No, listen, I'm here to talk about lemon, lime and bitters. Okay. And this is a good example.
No, but I mean...
This is a good example. As soon as I speak about this, it becomes your headline. That's not fair to the company that I'm here for.
But can I just explain why I'm going to ask that question?
Sure.
It's on the back of that fame sport thing where you can't avoid, you're always under scrutiny.
Of course. And you know that. I know that.
And you would have been you were under scrutiny up there.
I know that as well.
You're under scrutiny in the park. But he's always learning.
You just got to do your best, highs, lows, pros, cons, good times, tough times. I'm like everyone else. I'm standing here trying my best still to this day. And I hope that doesn't change.
He's got to earn a living.
And, he's got to make money.
I just wouldn't have picked a current affair to launch my lemon, lime and bitters.
Maybe the brand power lady.
Pick a safer market.
You don't see Mark Taylor doing that though, do you? Mark Tubby's fine. He just does jiu-jitsu and he doesn't call anyone a C in a park. Just lives his life.